Okay, let's try and get the stream going now and figure out if it's actually going to hold through this time. The unfortunateness of the last one, my internet deciding to cut out just a few minutes into the stream. So now just let me try and find a link, send out some links, and see how this ends up going. And hopefully it goes well enough. I mean, it's far later than my usual schedule, so I don't know if this stream is going to have any progress. What's up, JK Network? How's it going? Yeah, I don't know about this one. This one's much further in the day than my usual stream, so I'm not too sure about that. But as is, we'll figure things out. We'll see if everything at least goes somewhat okay. But who the hell knows? Other than that, how's everyone doing? I didn't really get to answer any comments or talk to anybody before the unfortunate cutout of the last goddamn stream, but as is, now we're going to be able to go around and, have a normal conversation, talk about everything that happened in the last week, talk about any chapters and any progress in the series. What's up, Telehim, Jared Punch, and JK Network? How's it going? Yeah, it's the unfortunates of having Comcast. Your internet might just cut out at random at any point. But I'm hoping the stream will at least, it's obviously, like I said, way later in the day than the usual schedule, but we'll see how this one goes. If anyone wants to come in, hang out and chat, we can talk about any of the the chapters this week, expectations for the next couple days, this next week. There will be, luckily, Black Clover back this week. There will be Fairy Tale chapter this week, so that'll be really nice. We're gonna have a nice kind of comeback after a little bit of a drought. Not too bad, but obviously that hole in the week can kind of stack up. I was going to ask you saw the spoilers for Eden Zero because it looks like there's a Toka Easter egg when Shiki talked to a random girl looked like her. Yeah, I said that. I'm wondering if that is just a coincidence or an Easter egg myself. She doesn't look the same because usually when people do like Easter eggs, like Hiromashima especially, it doesn't matter if they're like one for one scale over because they aren't going to have much influence outside of just a little Easter egg. But she has a little bit of a different face, a little bit of a different style to her. I don't know. It might just be coincidence. Who knows? Yeah, it's not a big deal, Jared Punch. It just happens sometimes. Like I said, the unfortunateness of having Comcast, they're pretty shitty. We'll try and do the stream for about an hour, maybe a little more, chit chat and just go over some stuff. Obviously, with the unfortunate lack of the two biggest things, goddamn, that I like to talk about, Fairy Tale and Black Clover, there was a somber week, a sad one, but was made up in an interesting chapter from Eden Zero, a wild chapter from Chainsaw Man. Oh my god, did anyone else read that chapter? That was freaking absurd. It was goddamn bloody. What's up, Pegasus Seiya? How's it going? What's going on with you today? Gonna be a good week for Hero's work. New fairy, hang on a second. Get down from there. My cat is doing stuff she shouldn't be doing. Yeah, the chapters will be pretty good. We got a new Fairy Tale chapter. We got the year anniversary for Eden Zero, which is gonna be really nice. It's just gonna be pretty fun. And like I said, Tabata coming back is gonna be just delightful. Again, it's weird when you have something as frequent as Black Clover and you just don't get it one week. Black Divider or Spirit of Zephyr. Currently I like Black Divider more, but as I talked about, the potential with Spirit of Zephyr, if it turns actually to be a ranged weapon, like I said, I'd probably lean towards more like that, just because I like the idea of it. But as it is currently, I'm much more intrigued by Black Divider. It's very simplistic, but has a really nice kind of extra appeal to it with the way that the blade kind of it courses out like veins to cause these elongated edges along it. What's up, Catherine Merker? How's it going? What's up, Roderick? How's it going? Ryoko Black Manga. How are you guys today? Sammy sending people over to come hang out. That's good. How are you guys today? I came into the Sammy stream. He talked to me earlier. He was like, hey, I got some plans for a Black Clover stream, to grab a couple Black Clover YouTubers. We could talk about the chapters. I'm like, okay. And then I get into the stream, and there's goddamn 40 people in there, and it was too hectic. I listened to chunks of it. I didn't participate as much. There was a little bit too many people for a normal stream. That was like a goddamn Senate meeting. There was so many people in there. It was pretty ridiculous. What if I could make my own Shonen Jump game? I really the thing about Jump Force that really bummed me out. I would have preferred it to be 2D and they just had more characters because that's really what a lot of the people are going to get the game for are the characters. They want to play their favorites, you know, some of the older ones that maybe not be as popular. Think about characters that they've missed, series that have ended, and the bummer part of it is like half the game is like from 4 series, and it doesn't look like they're gonna change that at all. It's pretty unfortunate. It made me very sad. Luckily though the few characters that I really wanted in the game, like Asta, I figured he'd be in the game and I was happy about that. But Yugi and Kaiba both being in made me really happy. Those are the gold tier right there to be in the game. I don't know if you've played it. Kaiba's a beast in that freaking game. I knew he was gonna be good, but goddamn, Kaiba ended up as a fucking juggernaut of power. Made me super happy about that. It would be like the new Kill la Kill game. I haven't looked at the new Kill la Kill game. I'm wondering why it is that they're making a Kill la Kill game years after the series ended, and they just never seem to be able to... Like, they ended the series on a cliffhanger, similar to what they did with Gurren Lagann after they beat Lord Genome, and yet Kill la Kill just... There was no progression after that. It was really weird. I don't understand that. What's up, Patricia Bustle? How are you guys today? For those like earlier, we were talking about the beautiful series in the background for the layout of this one is The Great Needless. Very odd manga. If you want to check it out, be forewarned. It is very weird. I haven't read Beast Children. I've looked at it. I'm not too keen on sports manga. I've only like enjoyed a couple that I've read. But I've heard some good things. I heard some people enjoy it. Tokyo Shinobi Soda though is pretty cool. I like it so far. Pretty nice, pretty comfortable. Kind of like, you know, motioning into it. I really like the premise. I think the premise so far is my favorite aspect of it. I really like the idea of this lawless city, and you have all these kind of these kind of characters are more like mercenaries rather than they're the good guys. They're kind of just like they kind of have this not I wouldn't say Robin Hood aspect because they're more of like, hey, we do nice things. Like Robin Hood was still a thief. I mean, he was like a thief in a bad world. I guess you could kind of compare like Robin Hood to like the Night Raid from Akame Got Killed. I don't know, get mixed up in there. There was an OVA for. I didn't see the OVA. When did the OVA come out? Because I figured they'd have a season after that, kind of like again what they did with Gurren Lagann. Because it was weird to kind of end it on a cliffhanger. I know that they did a manga after that, but I don't think the manga progresses any further than the anime did. It was kind of weird. Did you read that? Oh, in the volume 5 about oh my god, I'm starting Eden Zero. Yeah, he wanted to make a much more of a vicious villain, and that's what I kind of got about Draken Joe. He seems much more of just a straight businessman. He's not like a sad past kind of guy. He's not like a big picture kind of guy. He's a criminal businessman, and that's what I really like about his character, and I think is going to be the coolest aspect for him in this, because again, it's a character that Hiroshima hasn't really done before, and that's what someone like me, I've read all of his series, including his one shots. And I really want to see this kind of like different side that he's taken, and I'm wondering what inspiration he's going to take towards it. I don't have they said anything about the last Saiki getting axed? It's been ranking really low, but I haven't heard anything about it getting axed or anything of like teetering towards the end. Because usually around like chapter 16 or so, it would be kind of like moving into some end game stuff. Because usually it's like. Usually between like 13 to 16, series kind of get to that end mark if they're getting axed, but it looks like it's doing fine. I'm wondering maybe if they're going to wait till after Volume 1 sales or something, because it was really popular at the start. I don't know. Very curious about that. It's your opinion. What's the most overpowered ability you've ever seen a character have in any anime or any non-anime? Anything that involves like plot manipulation. You have like a fourth wall breaking. Because, like, if you have a character that can manipulate the plot, they can literally have it so, like, a character, like some other really powerful character, it's like, oh, their power, they just lost it because of this reason, and then it happens. But that kind of gets into the area of, like, game breaking, and it's more of like, oh, wow, that's a pretty interesting idea you got there. But then it's just like, well, how is any character supposed to beat that? It's like a comedic one. But at the same time, it's weird. It's weird conceptual, like fourth wall breaking, maybe even like fifth wall. I don't know. A little bit silly. I've always liked I've always liked main characters when they have more of like a simplistic yet versatile power. I always thought that was more interesting. But always have some form of hacks to them. Hacks is always like a fun aspect to a character. But then when you obviously if you get into something too crazy, it's like how the living shit are you gonna ever beat them? Ryuko's regeneration is overpowered. I'm trying to remember if she had was it her energy source like her blood, like she put her blood in her clothes. Was there an extra one? Because I don't remember if there was a time limit or if she just as long as she got through that activation, if she was going to be fine. There were some questions. I'll have to rewatch it sometime. If I rewatch it, I'm gonna have to like remember scenes to skip over. I remember like what was it, Mako, the bowl cut chick. She had that one joke that was funny the first like 2 or 3 times, but they did it like every episode, and it just got on my nerves so much. It's like you can't use the same joke 80 fucking times. It doesn't work. You can't use the same joke 80 goddamn times. It's just gonna fall over, and it's gonna get annoying. What was the one episode? What are the early ones where they kept crashing the car, and then they'd be like, "You need to finish the objective for me," and the characters would pretend they're dead. They did it like 3 times. Okay, but they did it in the same episode. The stupid Mako one happened like 40 goddamn times. By the way, I saw Godzilla King of the Monsters yesterday. It was awesome. Rotten Tomatoes is full of shit. I want to see it again. I'm still thinking about seeing it again. It was pretty fun. Like, the human aspects were alright, but the monster parts are what people go for, and they were awesome. Like, when Ghidorah rises up from the ice, that was so freaking sick. You see him shooting lightning everywhere. What if Madara used planetary devastation and summoned multiple road rollers? Holy shit! Would each of them have a Dio on them? Is the question. Wait, what if Dio had Shadow Clone? Could you imagine 1,000 Dios, and they're all yelling and all throwing knives and steamrollers on people? That'd be overpowered. There you go. That might be one of the strongest abilities of all. Just because it would meme to a point beyond understanding. Yeah, I remember the life fibers. The life fibers were like, they were special, kind of like buff gear. But I don't remember if they had an energy source or whatever. Because, you have a character like, I can't hold my form or whatever too long. I need to rest and regenerate or some bullshit. Always like that. You know how it is. I still haven't read the new Fairy Tail chapter. Kurama, what are you doing? Go read it. Well, I used the thumbnail. I used my favorite page in the last stream. But this one, there was no, like, big double spread like any of the new chapters I really liked. So I used this old one because I'm rereading Needless, and there's this badass panel of Adam Blade clashing with Satan, and it was just so cool to see. And it just brings me back to, like, back when main characters were just these goddamn thrashing chads. And just, like, everything about the series is so goofy. But I love how the main character is just this pissed off, jacked, like, always, like, maleficently grinning priest. So awesome. Have I checked out Noragami? I haven't. I was looking at some of the new anime, because usually when there's always, the seasonal anime people hype up. There's, like, some I usually plan beforehand on watching, and then there's some that I just kind of have my eye on. I usually wait until they're over, and then I binge watch them. I want to get caught up on Kimetsu no Yaiba, though, because the animation is just so godly. Like, Ufotable did such a good job every time I see a clip from it, and it makes me want to watch more episodes. I'm just lazy, and I prefer reading manga over watching the anime 99% of the time. But I definitely need to get back with Kimetsu no Yaiba. I really want to. I really want to watch more of the anime. Let me scroll up, make sure I don't miss any comments. I like reading everyone's nice comments over this. What do you think of ability? Oh, the memorization power. That's pretty cool. I like how they hyped up also. Like in the future, it'll have more of like mind control on like memory manipulation abilities. That'll be pretty cool. Give the kids some hype, and it's like one of the best ones. So maybe it could easily be one of those series where maybe. Because it's more about the team, it's more about Narumi Kai, which every time I read or say that, I think about Cobra Kai. I gotta watch the new Cobra Kai season, I just realized. I'm gonna start watching that tonight. But anyway, the thing about it, and then you have this main character, this really young dude, like, he could easily, become a main character, and you could, like imagine at some point Jin gets killed off, and then N becomes the main character. And then it's not even like the main character forever. It's literally just about the group, and they slowly switch off every once in a while. Who do you think would win between Godzilla and King Ghidorah in the movie? Oh, Godzilla was gonna win. Who do you think is gonna win between? Oh, King Kong. Oh, Godzilla should whoop the shit out of King Kong. That's no way. Irene is still a better mother than Raquel. Well, yeah, but Irene was crazy and like she's a bad mom, but like Raquel was like getting creepy hand touchy on her kid. I remember that. It's just like, oh, this chick's she's just some weird ass villain. And then there was like that whole bathhouse scene, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this chick? This is a really demented woman, and then she's like a weird clothing alien, and I'm like, okay, man, I guess that explains why she's so goddamn weird. Ghidorah on the volcano was probably my favorite scene in the movie. Also, Godzilla burning form was super OP this time around. Yeah, that was awesome. I love the part where there were so many cool parts in that movie, and even though I saw them in like the trailers, it was so much cooler because I went to see it in IMAX, and there's like that part where Rodan is spinning and taking out all the fighter jets, and Ghidorah's like raising his wings, and the lightning is striking all the tips. There were so many cool scenes in that movie. I wish it did better. I saw it. I think it. I'm fairly certain it made profit, but I feel like it should have got like. I was hoping it would be like $1 billion movie. It was so visually appealing. It was so much fun. You didn't have to. He didn't have to pay like $1,000,000 of attention. They're like, this is a movie where we're trying to entertain. We just want you to watch a bunch of badass monsters fight in like awesome CG, and that's what they gave you, and that's what I got, and I enjoyed it. I want to go watch it again. I'm definitely gonna buy it and own it because it's so much fun. I want to get a new TV at some point this summer, and one of the things I will definitely do on that is rewatch Godzilla, because that was just straight awesome. It was so much fun. What kind of backstory expecting the White Witch and Toka to have? I mean, I don't know, because they're both such. Well, Toka, we don't really know much about her in general, but we know the White Witch is just mysterious, and she's only been doing stuff for like 100 years, but it's all super low key because of Zareth. So there's so many aspects to her that it's like a mystery, because we don't know what she is. Because one of the things that slips my mind all the time when I think about like what exactly her thing is you remember that there's that small bit. It only got touched on a little bit. The fact that she has a tail, and it makes me just wonder, like, what exactly is she gonna end up being? Is she like some weird Cheshire Cat demon or something? I'm extremely curious about the tail thing, because the tail thing just makes me go like, because I was like, okay, White Witch, maybe she's some old kind of horrific kind of like Zareth almost character, and whatever her nefarious plans are, and then it's like, oh yeah, she has this weird striped cat tail, and I can only think of, is she some like. I legitimately only can think of some like evil witch Cheshire Cat, and it's just it's both funny yet kind of like weird to me. What's up, Sammy? How's it going? Chapter on Tuesday, Sammy. I gotta watch the new Black Clover episode. I still haven't watched it, and then there's an episode 2 days from now. Yeah, I'll wake up that day, I'll read the new Fairy Tale chapter, and then probably watch the new Black Clover episode. I got some stuff to do in the afternoon, but luckily I'll be able to read the chapter when it comes out in the morning. So, oh yeah, if you haven't yet, thumbs up the video, befriend the like button, and if you're new, befriend the subscribe button, become a friend of the channel, and check out my other videos. I do a lot of, I try to do a video every day. I usually do manga materials, occasional news in the manga community and world, and yeah, if you check me out on Twitter, I put out usually a summary and a spoiler picture whenever the Fairy Tale chapters come out on Tuesdays. I don't want to show too much because, I still want to support official release. But I do want to, keep the people involved, because the unfortunateness is the fact that it doesn't have an official release at the moment in English. Like, we're gonna get volumes in August, but that's volumes. You're gonna have to wait like what is it, like 3 or 4 months every time you wanna read a chapter. No, I'm still gonna read them online, but at the same time, I'm still supporting it by buying the Japanese chapters as well as buying the official volumes. So I'm still contributing and supporting official release, so that should be fine. You know how that is. There's always that kind of like gray area when you're thinking about it. You want to read the chapters, but at the same time, you want to make sure that the money goes properly to the people who create it, because you want them to be well taken care of in the series that they do to get recognition that they deserve. White Dragon Volley, make you a mod. I don't know about that. Let me make JK Network actually a mod. Just because he's here all the damn time. Here you go, JK. Approve comments at will, if there's ever comments that don't need to be approved. The manga is far behind, only season 2. Of what? Of Noragami? I don't think so. Demon Licked versus Dio? I think So I know that obviously time stop, but I swear that there's some crazy. Oh no. So it's the video game Dio is like absurdly powerful, but that's a video game version. It's not the canon. So like I guess if you include normal Dio, I'd go Demon Licked. But if you went video game Dio, then Dio would win. You know, that's some of those craziness. What's up, Sammy? You're writing, bringing people over to come hang out and chat. Again, you got any questions? You want to ask anything about any of the series that I read? You know, anything that happened with the week, you just ask. Or anything you might want to recommend, anything just on your mind. That's what these streams are for. They're more community discussion streams. You want to go over, you know, just the contents of, you know, what happened over the week. Like, for instance, Chainsaw Man was such a short read, but it was such a spectacle. Like, Makima, I don't know if you read Chainsaw Man, but I think that was one of the rawest, like, power introductions I've ever seen in a shonen manga. Like, Makima just straight up flattened people. She did not play at all. There was no warning. There was no, like, hey, let's just give him, let's try and be nice on him. There was none of that. She went right to absolute brutal slaughter. That chick is crazy. Have you seen which is more effective against demons, Rin's Movements, Blue Exorcist, or Grid's Devil Slayer magic? I'd go the Devil Slayer, because the thing about the flames in, I don't even want to say flames. The thing about a lot of the power levels in Blue Exorcist, they're not that crazy. And a lot of what they do, they don't kind of keep that wild. Like, there's some crazy hype with, like, Lucifer being able to pretty much, like, life wipe the planet. But I feel like a lot of it is an over-exaggeration because of the fact that, like, power levels in that series have been relatively small. And like, the gap between, like, I think like I think actually the biggest known feat within it is Rin, like, burning up the King of Rot, which was like a couple hundred meters on the side of a mountain, and then obviously I don't think I need to really compare that to like wiping out a planet. But we'll see. There's some craziness going on with that series. There's still a lot to go though. Red Rage Godzilla Destroying Ghidorah was my favorite moment. That was badass as hell. It was so cool. I love that movie. Rex, I'm still salty with the current series from Shonen Jump. Get good adaptation anime, but Black Clover is left with a crappy studio. Well, the animation's picked up. The animation has gotten, didn't they get, like, a new animation team for this arc? Like, this arc, it's looked a little bit better. I haven't watched a new episode, but it looks fine. Like, I don't expect everything to look pretty good. They did apparently hype up, an episode coming up soon, which should be, I believe it's supposed to be Patri versus versus Julius. So look forward to that. That's going to be pretty awesome. I definitely want to see that fight because that's going to be a badass, like, crazy debacle between those characters. Going to be a lot of fun. And apparently that's supposed to be really good, similar to, Yuno and versus Rill, or Asta versus Ladros. So that's going to be really nice. All these guys rating. What's up, though, guys? How are you all today? Any of you guys have any fun with the chapters this week? I was pretty satisfied with the My Hero Academia chapter 2. Like, the chapter prior to that, it was kind of just like, I'm not... It was fun, but I didn't get too hyped on it. I really like the design for this. Like, he's pretty much like Stress Hulk with Redestro. I think that's pretty cool. It's one of those very simplistic yet very, powerful abilities, which makes me wonder, like, because it looks like a power that would go up against Giganto, but Giganto, we already know that he's going to be the one fighting, like, the mass numbers of fodder, whereas Shigaraki is going to be the one fighting Redestro. But I'm wondering, what is he going to do? And how exactly he's going to recover. The dude just lost 3 of his fingers on one of his hands. Is he going to get it reattached? Is he going to get, like, is he going to cut off his hand and be able to put on hands, that he's got on his body and use those? I don't know. There's some questions there I'm very curious about. Must protect Ryuko. Ryuko from Kill la Kill? Unless I'm forgetting another one. Presently up to volume 19 on Blue Exorcist manga. I think it's on volume 25? I'd have to double check. What I find cool about the new Godzilla, that unlike old Godzilla, the 50s, he's not a full-on villain or even a hero. He's more of a neutral anti-hero and wants to be on top. He seems to be more about protecting the balance, which I think is really cool. Kind of like keeping all the other monsters in check. I just really like the idea that Godzilla is just this kind of like, this force that is just, he's trying to keep the world at a certain status. And now he's got all these other ones that, all these other monsters that are now serving under him. So I'm wondering how that's going to go. I'm wondering the direction of the world. They don't have to do a million movies, but There's clearly a plan for a handful. Like, they could easily do more, because this one ended on a cliffhanger. So even with Godzilla versus King Kong, unless they team up, maybe to fight Mechaghidorah, I don't know. But it'd be kind of weird to have them fight the villain, but a robot version from the previous movie. If there's a movie in between them that's different, but I don't know. We'll see how things go. Yeah, Noragami, I've heard of it. Wonder if we'll ever see a demon, I hope not. I don't want anything bad to happen to Yet it's far behind the manga. Angel Asta. It's absolutely amazing. Highly recommend. Wait, what's this? Spriggan 12 and Zara versus Acnologia pre-space between time. Well, we already know that Acnologia would have won. So in the timeline, there was the future where Acnologia went ahead with conquering the world in Future Rogue's timeline 7 years in the future. So clearly Zareth and the Spriggan 12 didn't succeed. And Zareth, even with the Fairy Heart and the ravines between time, he's like, I still can't beat Acnologia. There's no chance. I'm not going to defeat him. So the only way he had an idea of defeating him is to go back in time and kill him before he was so powerful. It's just the unfortunateness of them. Acnologia is just too powerful for them. How would you do an anime connected universe? So I actually had an idea. I won't go too deep into it. So I had an idea for a series where at the end of it, it leads into other stories. And not like, next generation. It's more like other universes and like worlds could exist because of the events of the original series. Like if it was like, what is it, Crisis on Infinite Earths, the DC event where, I guess that's not really a good example because the multiverse already existed. It'd be like the very start of a multiverse, but there's only one. Imagine there's just universes, but all of them are lifeless but one. And then it was pretty much down to the events of one, and then, they succeed, and other universes can start spawning life. And even if a timeline isn't connected directly, and a story isn't connected to another one, you know that it's possible because of the events of the others. So they're kind of connected, which I think is a really interesting kind of concept. By the way, you saw Brightburn when it was pretty decent. I didn't go see it. I'm going to wait and rent it. I heard mixed reviews, and I was a little bit busy that week, so I was just like, I'll go watch it next, or I'll go rent it. It still looks entertaining. I heard some bad things about it. Those people are like, he's just like bad Superboy or Superboy Prime. He's evil. Doesn't like, he's a mean version of Superman. I'm like, I don't care. I want to see a gory, vicious, evil superhero. That's the only thing I wanted at that movie. But it seems like it was okay. Not good, not bad. So I'll go check it out. Read Fire Force. Do you have it? It's dope. Yeah, I love Fire Force. It's pretty fun. I still need to reread it because I want to go back to reviewing it for my channel, but there's so many aspects of it I forgot, and I want to, when I do the reviews, I want to be able to, look at a series and know what I'm talking about. I don't want to just read it to get views. I want to actually be able to keep a level of discussion and information going from it. So, let's see. I don't want to miss any comments. Did you review Digimon X-Cross manga and the series is overweight? Would you? I don't know about that. Just because of the fact that if it's long since over, it would have to be like, I don't know, because it'd be like going back and reviewing Zatch Bell or another series I really enjoyed just because. I mean, I could eventually one day just for like, maybe like a Rax's recommendations kind of thing, but at the moment, no, maybe in the future, kind of thing. It's just one of those things, like, maybe at some point, like Golden Week, what are we gonna do? It's nothing to read. It's like, okay, let me throw some stuff I recommend that might get you past the time. So at least there's that, Tank gets control over fire, but only fire other controls as well as the fire weaker that he uses. Well, keep progressing with your story, man. You gotta keep going. I wish I could draw, then I could try and do my own story. The anime still got a lack in consistent quality because weekly anime. Oh yeah, that's just how weekly anime is, though. As long as whenever they do like a big important battle, like Universe is Real, and they pump out the animation quality like that every arc, I'll be perfectly fine. That's all I require. That's all I'm asking of them. Rax, if you had the stretch quirk, all you have to do is read this bad 7 Daily Sins chapter, and you'll have... No, all I have to do is play League of Legends. League of Legends or Minecraft. Those are like the most stress-inducing games I've ever played in my life. And I'm not even kidding. Like, those games, I think, make me more angry than any other game I've ever played in my life. It's weirdly ridiculous. It's either when I used to play Minecraft all the time. It's like the idea that, you spend hours doing something and then you get killed and then, you're like, fuck, I gotta go back and get my shit, and then you die in the process and you lose all your stuff. It's just like such an aggravating idea, but it's part of the game. And then League of Legends just pisses me off just because people can be fucking stupid and they don't want to be a team even though it's a goddamn team game. It's really confusing, but whatever. The Seven Deadly Sins, at least it has, it's got good art panels, it's got some good fighting choreography, and it's got some nice design. It's been pissing me off lately because of the level of lack of consistency and some of like the things that don't make sense. Like the whole bloodstained Ellie thing. Like I said, I had to go back and check. I remember some hype about Ellie, but I felt like I remember them talking about how kind she was, and then it's like, oh yeah, she was called the bloodstained Ellie because I guess she just slaughtered demons and stuff, and it's like, okay. But like the fact that Merlin didn't give Bond his sacred treasure while they're fighting the Demon King just seems ridiculous. It just seems like such a nonsense moment. At least with Meliodas, it was like, oh, she was doing something else. She wasn't involved in the Hendrickson fight, but Merlin was with them. So why would Merlin not say, oh, the Demon King or literally any other boss fight we've had since then? Here you go, Bond. Here's your sacred treasure that I've had. Because, like, she gave Meliodas Lostfane the second they fought that Albion. And that was not even remotely close to a threat as even one of the Ten Commandments. It was very silly. And that's one of the things that just really bugged me with Seven Deadly Sins. It's just some of the things that don't make sense, and it just feels like a fan is like, it's like a fan fiction. It's like, I have a really good idea, but you might mess something up of consistency or a plot contradiction. I remember there's a one of the Bleach novels. There's one of the Bleach novels, and I remember hearing about it. It was actually like an alright novel, but there's a part with Izuru Kira, and he shows up at one point, like he immediately confronts somebody after he like tries to escape. But at that point in the series, like where it's supposed to take place, it's after he gets shot in the chest and he's missing like a huge portion of his torso, and it's like, how? That's kind of like where I see it as is, or it's just like, that doesn't make sense, but at least you're trying. At least you're trying, man. Whatever. Where was I? I think we may be hinting at the destroying the future of the Monsterverse. I want to see Biollante. I haven't watched a lot of the old Godzilla movies. I want to at some point, but that just Destroy and Biollante, I think, have some of my favorite monster designs, and I love monster designs. They're so cool. Natsu E&D or Fire Dragon King Tattooed versus Meliodas at full power. Both of them are stronger because one, E&D made to kill immortals. It is all around like a contest for Zareth. Acnologia had hesitation on him. It should be stronger than. What's funny is like when we saw back then in his fight with Gray, that was only a fraction because that was only a small piece of the book that entered his body. Because seemingly enough, the difference between the Aetherius demons and Natsu is the Aetherius demons. They are their book. As we saw with Margir, they turn either a book into them or they turn back into a book. With Natsu, it was much more of like his demon powers weren't in his body, but they were connected and they were in, the book form. And if you go back and look, when Natsu grabs his chest after Zareth shoots his book, it's in the same spot that the demon seed is later, residing. It's in the same area. And it's only because of the fact that Zareth tampered with the book. And, then the book disappears. It seems that he seemingly has his powers back, like the form that he had when he fought Mercephobia it's way too similar than his Aetherius form that we saw. Like, there's so many similar aspects, it's ridiculous. As well as Dragon Force, and it just seems like the E&D, the Demon Seed and the Dragon Seed are coming together again. Because with the Dragon Seed, it's different, because as long as you use Dragon Slayer magic, even if you just manage to destroy the Dragon Seed, it's going to come back. Because it's literally just, once you use Dragon Slayer magic, it starts to reform. And it just progresses. So, and now, like, there's an interesting comment, especially with Ignil. When Ignil explained about the Demon Seed and the Dragon Seed merging, is he talked about how, first off, he said Natsu would die, and then that was that. But then later he said, like, he wouldn't be himself anymore. So I believe that when he said he would die, it was much more of just, like, you who you are right now will die. It'll be somebody else kind of, like, as you are. That's just what it seemed like to me, especially like when we actually saw, like, the Aetherius part of him take over. he didn't act like himself at all. It was like, again, a whole different person. It's similar to what we saw with the form that he had when he fought Mersophobia. And in between that, like, he would switch back between himself and this kind of like rage mode version, which I think is really interesting. You can go check out my videos I did on them a couple weeks ago, a couple chapters ago, rather. I think it would be easier, about Natsu's new form, trying to explain it, trying to get an idea of what's going on with it. You know, it's a very interesting thing. Oh, Ragyu, world's greatest mom. I bet I could find worse mother characters out there, for sure. Yeah, but Meliodas, like, he doesn't have that good of powers. Like, he just is, like, he's very physically strong. He doesn't have his immortality anymore. We never found out if he had, like, some hack superpower that the Demon King was hinting at, but it seems to just be like, oh, it's super condensed darkness. Big fucking whoop. It's magic. Natsu can burn it. And just the idea of some of the areas that Natsu should scale from for those versions, like Wall decided to go ahead and make it so Ethereon starts with him. So if you're stronger than Wall, you should be stronger than Ethereon, which is kind of like crazy to think about. But there's so many things now within the series that are above it. There's Ars Magia, Deus Senma, Real Nightmare, the Dragon Cry, Space Between Time, Fairy Heart. Those are just kind of like spells and like offhand things. Those aren't specific characters. And, pretty wild, stuff in there. It was cool to see actor of Tywin Lannister, Charles, dance at the Game of Thrones. Like, he acted, in Godzilla, he even acted like Tywin Lannister. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said when he came on screen. I'm like, oh god, it's Tywin. What are they gonna do? I thought that was pretty good. I actually cannot believe how powerful Digimon are. Oh yeah, Digimon have a ton of crazy shit. Like, what is it? Z Millenniumon, like, was a threat to the entire multiverse by existing. Like, he pretty much could have ended, like, the entire Digimon multiverse. Like, I believe out of the main, like, the big four for, like, their era, Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Dragon Ball, power levels, it's Pokemon at the bottom, then Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and then Digimon. Because Digimon has a ton of, like, crazy powerful characters. Like, there's, like, a whole group of them that are all, like, universal beings. And, like, they made one of the main characters, like, he punched out a universal being, and he's just a human. And it's wild to think about. That's the only main character Digimon that bugs me, because he didn't have goggles, and that's a goddamn, like, Digimon main character staple, that motherfucker. Miria is a true hero. I like Miria. I think he's really cool. He's one of the things about My Hero Academia I actually really enjoy. Him and Red Riot, as well as Gentle. I really like them. They're both really cool. Well, all three of them, because I need fucking 3 characters. I'm surprised we didn't get an Ellie cameo in Eden Zero. Spoilers. It'd be funny if she was the owner of the casino or something. They could have done something like that. I feel like Hiroshima is going to keep it way more consistent with, there'll be like the deeper Easter eggs and like characters in the background from the previous work. Because he's done just Fairy Tail ones really so far. Outside of like some small stuff, the door in Eden Zero just says Ellie. It's not Ellie, it's 3713. Is it? Or is it Ellie? I'd have to go back and check. I think it's 3713, which was what Ellie thought was... Well, no, that was her name. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember, because there was like a switch of whether or not that was the code name that she thought it was her name, or if she changed her name and wrote it on her arm. I have to go back and check in Rave Master. But 3713 Ellie, as she read it off her arm, and that's why the door in Eden Zero is named, or at least titled 3713. I'm guessing Ethereon in Eden Zero is going to be like the name of their main ship, main ship canon, which will be really cool. Because I'm guessing that's going to be Valkyrie's thing when she comes back. Because you have Sister, who is, Sister's a healer, Witch is like the ship maintenance, Hermit is like the systems and, security. And I'm guessing Valkyrie is going to be like weapons and stuff. She's like the combative one, which makes sense because out of the 4 of them, she's the only one that seems combat ready. She's the only one that seems very capable of straight fighting. Have you watched the Ultraman anime or the Ultraman series? I haven't, but I know of Ultraman. I think Elemental Hero Neos is actually based off of Ultraman, at least in design. Toga versus Twice. We'll see. Hopefully Twice... Isn't Twice like twice her age? I think Twice is like in his mid-20s. What do you think of Taiga and Tokyo Shinobi Squad? I think he's cool. I like his design. The furry form it's badass, but I like at the same time I look at it, I'm just like, can you stop being in a furry form? It's both cool, but like I don't like looking at it at the same time just because it looks kind of strange. You know, just how it is though. Whatever's. I think we're gonna get something big in Eden Zero Chapter 50 because the 50th Rave chapter. We get Gil Glory in the 50 Fairy Tale chapter. We learn about Lucy's family. We could get Drac and Joe stepping down on the Sun Jewel. That would be really cool. Or maybe like information on Shiki. I still have my theories on Shiki that I'm gonna I'm gonna stand by. I like the idea of Shiki being some reborn like old planet or something ridiculous, something crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I'm pretty sure Twice is like pretty old. I had to go back and look. I always love Digimon compared to Pokemon. A lot of people are universal. Yeah, a lot of Digimon characters are universal. Like it's pretty wild. I didn't know that until a couple of years ago. I knew there were some, but like I think is it the manga or the games that goes way more like crazy with stuff? Because I think the first one is what Magidramon. Magidramon was like he pretty much was going to shut down the entire digital world, and the Digimon universe or the digital world is really just set for like their universe. It's not like a planet. We saw that in Frontier that it goes into off worlds and stuff, and there's multiple universes in Digimon. So they're pretty fucking crazy. Omnimon, Mercil mode. Oh, I don't even need to finish that. Either Omnimon would wreck Gogeta. It's ridiculous. You gonna see the new Child's Play? I'm thinking about it. It looks fun. It looks interesting. If I go see it, it's gonna be like because there's an IMAX theater near me, but obviously IMAX is more expensive and it's further away. And then there's like a normal like standard movie theater, like 5 minutes. I might go watch it at the normal movie theater. Maybe I'm thinking about it. It definitely looks fun. Like I heard it's just like an enjoyable movie. It's it steers into the heart of Child's Play. Got to keep that crazy Chucky murder and whatnot. These some absurd stuff. And you're looking forward to Digimon. Is there a new Digimon? Is that it? Wait, is that it? Oh, it's a game. Fuck! You maybe think there's a new series. I wish they were still doing them. I think was Digimon Cross the last anime. It's weird that they hadn't made any more. Tamers is still my favorite for sure. For sure, Tamers is still my favorite Digimon. Undisputed. Has so many of my favorites in there. Like Gallantmon and Beelzemon for sure. Those are like two of my tops. I actually rewatched Bleach recently. I watched through the dub anime again. And every single time I heard Odio talk, I just thought of Beelzemon. Every goddamn time. If anyone remembers Bakugan, I remember Bakugan. Did they do crazy power level stuff? I want to finish that at one point because I liked the idea of it. It was like Duel Masters, where it was like kind of like a weird card battle game, but I never understood how it worked. Like I understood Yu-Gi-Oh! And obviously in the Pokemon card game to a degree, but I never understood Duel Masters to even a fraction. I don't know what it was up with that. I don't know. Fun stuff though. I do want to finish Bakugan. I need to get back to it at some point. Oh god, fuck! I was typing something in Discord and I misspelled something, and one of my friends always makes fun of people if you misspell something. Fixed it though. He won't know. He'll never know. If I heard of B-Stars, yeah, I heard it's getting an anime. Oh, I don't want to skip a comment. Rex, which ending would you want to happen between alien invasion, zombie attack, or kaiju wicking us, wrecking everything? I like the kaiju. I think kaiju would be the coolest. I think kaiju would be cool. What world would you rather live between? Berserk or Attack on Titan? Attack on Titan. So let me put this out there, or the reason why. Attack on Titan, a lot of the things in Attack on Titan that you know of happen between Marley and, oh my god, is it I'm trying to remember. I'll just go the wall. I remember if it's Eldia. Oh my god, I know Eldians, but I don't remember if it was Eldia or what the name exactly was for their place that they gave it. But you could go off to some random island and just live there. You could live a solitary life. You could take like you don't have to go with anybody. Maybe you just like you get somebody, you go to an island, you hang out there, you just live there, or if some small unpopulated area. You're not gonna run into Titans because Titans aren't naturally spawning. They're though if you I won't go into spoilers if you're an anime only, but you could just go to some random island and live. Whereas Berserk, any point in your life, You could either get, you could be sitting down and be like, man, it's pretty snowy out today. And then all of a sudden a giant snow monster comes out and you have either three results in this. It's either going to kill you, eat you, or rape you. It's going to go wild in one of those options. That's just how Berserk is. Gallantmon is my favorite world. Gallantmon's my favorite Digimon. It just looks so cool. I have a figure, and I had the shield, but like literally the first 10 seconds that I got it, one of my friends broke the shield. So like the little knob that you used to put into the hand so he could hold it broke. So I don't have the goddamn shield, so I can't use Shield of the Just. I just got his Lightning Joust. He had a third attack. I don't remember what it's called. He's definitely my favorite though. It makes me sad because the rest of it's in great condition. I got it like 6 years ago and it's still good. I remember that day though. We went to the mall and it's like, oh shit, they have this, and it was like on sale. It was like $80 or something, and I was like, damn, I really want this. This is my favorite Digimon. Sure, I'll get it. I don't own any figures yet. And then I was like opening it, looking at it. I just wanted to see it. And then my friend was like, hey, let me look at it. I'm like, okay. And then bam, snap that goddamn piece off. Bothers me even to this day. Anyway. Bakugan opening. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch it at some point. Some of the Beat-em-on, I rewatched that not too long ago, and I loved it just as much. The sequel series though bothered the fuck out of me. Those made me so angry because they like abandoned oh my god, what was the direct hit battle? Because if you remember Beat-em-on, like they had like strategy style and like competition, and then they had like direct head on where you had to like shoot the balls at your opponent's Beat-em-on, and you had to hit the little shield to knock their guard down. But they didn't have that in the sequel series, which is fucking ridiculous. Because like there's like all these bad guys, and it's funny because the series is pretty much, it's like cowboy sharpshooters, but with like little toys because merchandising. But the little toys ended up more powerful than guns. So, like, when these bad guys would, like, raid towns, and they're, like, shooting out buildings and stuff with these toy-looking things, it's like, oh, shit, these are actually threatening. And then, like, the sequel series, there's no direct hit battles, so it's all, like, trick games. And so, like, when you had this bad guy who was a good plot twist, he had a cool beat-em-on, he looked cool, and then it's like, oh, man, I'm a bad guy now, I'm intimidating, but it's like, you have absolutely zero threat value. People just have to agree not to play with you, and you can't do anything. It made me so mad, because that was like one of the coolest parts about that series. And I still love the original series. It's a lot of fun. And that's a good soundtrack, too. But, god damn it, the sequel series pissed me off so much. And it makes me so mad to think about, because I think it was last year, I rewatched it all, and I was like, damn, that was awesome. And there's a sequel that takes place directly after the original series, and then there's like spin-offs, but they're not related at all. They're entirely different worlds, but the same kind of like toys and stuff. But then they took out like the key concept of the whole like game that made it like intimidating and vicious, and then it became so stupid. It made me so sad. It'd be like if they're like Pokemon stopped having battles and it was just the coordinator stuff. You remember that they had the Pokemon coordinators, and it's like, yeah, we do like dazzling stuff for show. There's no battles unless like what is it, the final round they'd kind of fight. Imagine them just doing the first show stuff. Oh god, it's so frustrating. I hate thinking about it. Oh god, I gotta get back on track. I'm remembering stuff, and it's making me upset. Oh god. One of the antagonists of Bakugan made an alternative system mentioned to kill everyone in the whole universe. What the fuck? Geoid Optimus Prime with cartoons and comic feats. Nearly all anime feats Mech 1 Prime is overpowered. Well, I think Demon Bane is like, I think it's that, or what is it, Tenichi Muyo or whatever, like the strongest animes. They have like some crazy shit. Strongest character, Damaria and Brandish, can beat Naruto Shippuden by themselves. Well, Damaria can stop time. And anybody that she could just slit their throat, like, she obviously can beat. Because that's the thing that messes with Demaria. Or, like, mind reading. You have to have specific things in order to beat Demaria. Unless you have time stop, or, in Natsu's case, like, straight up time stop resistance. She's OP. I mean, she could take a majority of the characters. Anybody that it's just, like... I mean, like, someone like Hidan, I guess, Hidan would be a perfect counter to her because she couldn't do anything to him, and she would run out of magic, and then he would just be like, "Fuck you," and stab the shit out of her. I guess he's her counter. I want another series with Vmon. Oh, Vmon's awesome. I miss, the armor digivolving was so confusing in the idea because that was like the core idea of the series, and then they got rid of it and they went to DNA digivolving, and this they never armor digivolving just became irrelevant as fuck. It's like unless one of those spires was up, it's like okay, armor digivolve. Yeah, okay, but armor digivolving is like not useful to almost like 99% of the bad guys we fight. So what the fuck is the point of this? Good stuff though. How would Deku and Asta function in the world of Kimetsu no Yaiba? Well, Deku would have to get a sword. Asta still can fight. He still has his sword. He's still physically strong. He can learn the breaths. I mean, Deku doesn't have any swordsmanship abilities. He'd have to learn how to use a blade. Asta would be fine. Deku better goddamn adapt or some shit, dude. Imperial Dramon is awesome too. I remember Fire Mode, dude. That shit was awesome. What do you think of Gallantmon Crimson Mode? I don't think I've looked at Chaos Mode yet. I still need to. I think you talked about it last time. Crimson Mode, I'm not a huge fan of Crimson Mode. I used to really like it as a kid, but like growing up, and then I like compared it to the original, just normal Gallantmon. I like the normal Gallantmon way more than Crimson Mode. But I think it's Gallantmon X looks way crazier. But he's got the Plasma Lance. I don't think it's as cool looking as the base Lance. I don't know. Gallantmon is just so cool. Plus, I just thought, I think Biomerging is the ultimate kind of like level for Digimon, like Digidestin and Digimon. Because like, so look at like, I can't remember a lot of the stuff from the other series, like in large depth. But there's like original. They just digivolve. The Digidestins they're kind of like fuel. Their emotions obviously are tied to their Digimon. You had O2 where they fused and still kind of the concept of more of like an advanced version original. You had 4 Digimon Frontier, which was just like there's no Digimon partners. They have spirits and it's just the characters and they become the Digimon. And then there's Digimon Data Squad, where they just kind of like powered up their Digimon, I guess. It seemed pretty much the same as like original. And then there was what is it? What was it? Cross, and they just kind of like kept like Voltroning. But Digimon Tamers, once you reach the highest level, like it's like normal, and then you slowly start to kind of like have like in-synced emotional and like physical like ties to your Digimon, and then you merge with them. And that was like the best way because it's like that way both the Digimon and the main characters were all relevant. They all kind of like got to stand it. They weren't just kind of standing there yelling, "Go get them, Digimon! Do your thing." Tamers is the best one for sure. It was so much cooler. Can you see now Foamy and the Goblin Slayer surviving the Berserk world? Yeah, for sure. Goblin Slayer for sure. He would survive, but he would look for goblins to slay. He wouldn't. He wouldn't mess with anything else. Like we know him. We know about his love for goblins. Yeah, Paladin mode was fucking awesome. I also I almost read that as Apocalypse. Apocalypse I thought was really cool too. Love the Pokemon. I thought it's an Iron Dragon from the anime. That's fine. I'm hoping. I think we're close. So I looked at it. There's 15 episodes left, and there's 26 chapters left, and they've been doing around 2.5 to 3 chapters per episode. So I think we're going to be getting that Acnologia backstory. So I'm hoping in a prolonged fight between Natsu and Seraph. Like I really want them to. I'm hoping that they go hard with the budget between Natsu versus Seraph and the Dragon Slayers versus Acnologia. I really hope that they don't like skimp on those. I really, really hope they don't skimp on them. Because those aren't just like the big battles. We don't know if 100 Years Quest is going to get an anime. This could be the last of the anime. And if they end the series out on the animation being like alright and passable, it's just going to be so sad. It'll be such a somber moment to see if they finish out like without being like, fuck yeah, here's 340 episodes of an anime plus 2 movies plus OVAs and whatnot, and we're just gonna end it on like all right animation. It'll bum me out so much. that'll be like, I don't drink often, but that'll definitely be like a drinking day. If I like, sweet, the final battle, and it's like, oh, Zareth and Natsu, the animation was not that good. It was alright, but okay. Well, maybe they saved it for Actologia's fight, and then it's like the same thing, and then it's just like, well, the week's canceled, guys. I'm gonna be drunk the whole week. I'll be legitimately bummed if that happens. Like, no joke. I'll be so sad. I'm hoping 100 Years Quest does get animated, but I'm hoping if that happens, I want it to be seasonal. Because then they could do, they could keep it consistent. Because assuming each arc is going to be the same length, 26 chapters around a year, and what was it, 25 chapters, 24 chapters for the arc all the way through Mersphobia. Assuming that's going to be like that, so each arc is going to be about a year. So assume that they, a seasonal anime, they put it all at 12 episodes, and each year they could give it really good animation and not get ahead of it to where they have to make filler. They don't have to do anything crazy, and they could treat each Dragon God as each one of them is going to be a big arc boss, so they can go crazy in those last episodes. They're not going to do anything for another year. We'll see, though. I'm hoping that happens. Oh, good. AMV on Bakugan. Go check out, Kaizoku. Oh, I think that's... Isn't that a One Piece... well, I guess it's not a One Piece thing. It's a Japanese thing. I'm trying to remember. Does it mean pirates? I think it means pirate. There's a part where Luffy says something about Pirate King, and I remember him saying that. What about Brandish? What's the strongest shipping character she can beat? I would say some of the upper members of the... fucking... I'm trying to words here. Of the Akatsuki. Depending on it, she could potentially beat Pain. But there's some difficulty there. Obviously, Pain having the, Nagato having the 6 versions, and then he could control them at a distance. But she could just snap her fingers, make them all small. Because we know what the difference between her and Demaria. Demaria, I've seen people argue this, like, how Demaria, she can't beat this character because they're so powerful. Her time stop won't work. Her time stop doesn't apply to people. Her time stop, she's stealing time. The people aren't relevant. She's directly stealing time itself. It's not like Rolo. I guess Rolo's is a bad example, but it kind of works. From Code Geass, he didn't stop time. He pretty much, in an area, made time stop in people's minds. Like, it pretty much froze their brains for, like, a couple seconds. So it's not like she's applying time stop to them and they're stopped out of time. She's directly stealing time. Whereas Brandish is affecting the person. So as long as they have more magic, or, in whatever series equivalent, chakra, Ryatsu, whatever, as long as she has more than them, she's going to affect on them. But if they have more than her, then she can't affect them. That just seems to be the case. That's always been a bit of a thing with Fairy Tail Axe. If they have more, power than you, and if you're trying to directly, put your power into them, it's not going to work. They're just going to kind of override you. Bakugan can get to Planet Buster. Drago broke through dimension just by powering up. That's badass. Yeah, I want to get back to it at some point. Guilmon was the first virus Digimon that was a main character. Gallantmon is actually... Is he? I didn't know I knew Guilmon was a virus type. I didn't know that Gallantmon was a virus. I knew Megidramon was, and oh my god, Megidramon looks so badass. He's like one of the only ones I remember, like, that was like one of my favorite ones. It was so cool. Do you remember when Beelzemon, like, had the black, like, crow wings, and he had the 6 super giant, like, buster gun? That was so awesome. Oh my god, that was so cool. Like, he had that little toy that he got from his Digidestin and his Digimon Tamers, and that turned into that giant, like, maw cannon. That was so fucking sick. Oh my god, that was... I want to watch it again now. What are you guys doing? You're making me want to watch all these old shows. Emiya, a.k.a. Archer or Scarlet Fate Stand-Up isn't... I don't know anything about Archer. The only character about Fate I know about is Gilgamesh, and I think he's like a universal being. But I think that a certain specific... Because actually, no, one thing I do know about Fate, it's like... There's multiple variations of the characters. That's one of the reasons I couldn't get into Fate, is there's too much. And it's not like one continuous story. They do a story and then they restart, and it's like the same characters, but they're told slightly different. And it's kind of like the issue I have with, like, Marvel and DC.
where it's like, cool, that's a fun story, but it's like, okay, it's over, and now I don't get any more of that. And then I had, the only other options are going to this completely other story with characters I like, but they're done by different writers. I don't know if I will like. It's just the thing about Fate that I've always kind of been a bit hesitant about. I watched Unlimited Blade Works and like at least the first couple episodes, and it was just so goddamn slow. I couldn't keep going. It was just so fucking hard to follow. As far as Black Clover anime is still going, literally in the same arc as the manga. Well, the anime is just starting the arc, and the manga is about to finish the arc. And they could easily like make filler in this arc and do fine, like flashbacks. They could have multiple episodes in Lumiere's flashback. There's a lot of things that they could extend this arc out. You gotta keep in mind, this arc is a third of the entire series, so this isn't like, oh shit, they're catching up. They're like 70 something chapters behind, so we're good. We're good. We don't need to worry about them like catching up and then the anime like fumbling or like going on break or some shit. Oh, yeah, Naruto. Well, no, he wouldn't say "I believe you." He'd say he's the coolest guy. 'Cause he said Naruto, the guy. Naruto said Obito, the guy that killed his parents and made him an orphan his whole life, is the coolest guy. He's like, he's really fucking cool. Oh, it is Needless, man. I knew you were a man of culture. That's Satan and Adam Blade. Got Setsuna on the back. Goddamn, it's a good. Tamba knows Needless. This is a good news. Yeah, it doesn't mean pirate. Oh my. Okay, good. I'm caught up. I'm finally caught up with the chat. Nezuko. I like Nezuko. She's good. Megidramon. I never thought Nightmare Fuel about Megidramon. I just thought he was really fucking cool. You just saw the recent One Piece chapter. Yeah. The whole chapter was literally just like Big Mom crushing Queen, and now Luffy's gonna fight her, and I feel like Luffy is gonna somehow being able to contend with her and get like another power up, because we know that like Haki will just like Super Saiyan like, yeah, you were almost defeated, but now you're gonna get a buff, and it's gonna permanently make you more powerful. It's like, okay, just do your thing, Oda. Go ahead, get done with it, and like the fact that like so far every single time that like the Yonko commanders like have gone out, one of them ends up really competent and does a lot of cool stuff, and the others just get the shit kicked out of them. Like, look at the Big Mom pirates. Snack did nothing ever. Cracker lost to Nami, like, making a drizzle. Fucking Smoothie did nothing ever. And then Kata Curry actually did shit. Like, most of that whole arc was him beating up Luffy. And then you have Jack, who has a horrible, horrible record. He just does take nothing but losses. You have Queen, who did nothing but dance and eat snacks, and then immediately get two-shot by Big Mom. And then he's like, "Hey, Luffy, I know that you're an up-and-coming big shot, and you have all this stuff about you, and you literally just went and ransacked Big Mom's islands, and you did all this stuff. But let me take those cuffs off you that, take away your devil fruit powers and what make you extremely strong. And let me put this collar on you that you can probably break out of, and you could just stand here and train, because that's going to be a good idea." At least King is cool. I like King's design. Jesus. Just because you're correct doesn't make you right. Wait, which one? I don't know what you're talking about. You think the robot dragons in Eden Zero beat neutral as opposed to dragons in Fairy Tail? I'm very curious about them, because they're... where do they come from? Where do these robot dragons come from? Unless there's going to be more. Unless maybe like they're all different. I don't know. So what if Lucia and Acnologia switch places, where Acnologia fought Haru while Lucia fights Natsu in the final battle instead? Well, the thing is that Haru beat Lucia. They beat Acnologia purely because of the fact that he got heavily weakened. They exploited the Dragon Slayer motion sickness weakness. If you took that away, there was no chance of them defeating Acnologia. He just would have continued to walk through them. Like, he wasn't even trying until near the end. And then, like, all he did was kind of do, like, a power flex. And they were all running on fumes, and he was just getting pretty warmed up. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that, they were smart, they strategized, they exploited his weakness, they held him in place and created that opening, then they would have lost. So, like,
Acnologia would have torn through Haru, and Natsu would have beat Lucia. Like it pretty straight cut there. Fate Stay Night doesn't have Universe Busters, and Unlimited Blade Works is great. I heard that Gilgamesh though, isn't he? I don't know. But if you finish to understand the difficulty of Fate, yeah. The thing is, it's like, when I get into a series, like the thing I really like about like big weekly shonens is they're very regularly gonna go on for a while, and I like to get invested in stuff. I like to follow stuff for a long time. Like whenever I see like that's the thing about like series when they start, I like to talk about them, but I want to wait until at least they get past the point where they might get axed because if I'm reviewing them and then talking about them and getting a lot more invested, and then like one week it's just like, yep, no more. I'm just gonna get bummed out. It makes me really sad. Merge Haru Ichigo True Bankai versus Acnologia. Acnologia would still tear through him. The thing that screwed over Ichigo, like getting a huge buff, is like the fact that Juha talked about like his Bankai ability, his True Bankai ability, having like being dangerous, but there were no hints at it. There was nothing kind of really to say, and we know that when a Bankai breaks, it's broken. It's gonna stay that way. So whatever power it has, Ichigo might not have anymore. I don't know if he got like a new buff in the novels. I'd have to check. But Acnologia, obviously with Ichigo being like 99% around throwing Getsuga Tenshos, Acnologia would just eat them, so that'd be kind of screwed over for him. Half Dragon Natsu from Dragon Cry or E and D Natsu, which is stronger? E and D Natsu. But the thing is the E and D we saw. So let me pull over this. E and D in general stronger. The E and D that we saw in Alvarez is not as powerful as the Dragon Cry Natsu. But the version we saw fighting Merce Phobia is definitely stronger than the Dragon Card version. The only version that should be stronger, the strongest that we know of, unless it's just a weird kind of nothing, is the one that the 7 Fire Dragons Dragon Force, 7 Fire Dragon Force, whatever, 7 Fire Dragons, whatever the fuck, because like the fact it was so powerful. It was like affecting his scarf. If you go back and look at that chapter, like Igneo scales were like flaring up, and from Natsu in that form, which was very interesting. Because I'm wondering if that was hinting at something, or if that was just some weird thing that Mishima was doing. I don't know. We'll see. 1 second. Anyway, I was posting something really quick. Let me get back to it. We'll go for a little bit longer before we pull out of the comment. War Greymon versus Acnologia. Is this normal War Greymon? Because normal War Greymon, I don't think he's that powerful. I think it's some of the later variations. I think it isn't his biggest feat. He like blew up Mount Fuji, or maybe like made an explosion like comparable in size. Because that's impressive, but obviously it's not shit to Acnologia. Acnologia is a big boy. He's a big fella. He doesn't have time for that. Obviously, Digimon has like absurdly powerful characters. I don't think War Greymon is one of those. The War Greymon is obviously one of the classic OG like badass megas. Love me some mega forms of the oh my god, it's stunning, of the Digimon variety. Obviously the Gallantmon best though. Gonna be good stuff. Anyway. Victory Greymon is stronger than War Greymon. Yeah, I believe so. That's the one from is that from Digimon Data Squad? What is it? Let me look up Victory Greymon. Victory Greymon. I actually really, what is it? Rise Greymon? I thought that one is really cool. Oh yeah, he's the one with the sword. Oh, is that the one? Is he from? Which is the one that was in? I'm just gonna look up Rise Greymon. Because there was the one that he evolved through into, was it Kaiser? No. Shine Greymon is the one that he evolves into. That's the one from, oh my god, that looks badass. I need to rewatch Digimon. God damn it, you guys. You're making me want to rewatch all these. They're so fucking cool. Rise Greymon looks so cool too. They all look so badass. I really want to rewatch Digimon now. What have you done to me? You made me want to rewatch all these old shows. Maybe watch the Overlord anime, not the movie. I watched the anime. I'm gonna wait until a while, because the thing about Overlord that bothers me, I like the concept, because a lot of it is like you're seeing the perspective from like raid bosses in a video game, but it's like I don't want to. It's 3 seasons in, and they're still steamrolling through everyone they come across, and it's just so. there's no tension, and that's what's been like bugging the shit out of me with the Overlord series. Obviously, though, that's to be expected, but like I want to see like the characters actually have some competition. It's like the thing that's been bugging me about that series. He has his claws to kill dragons, but like the power gap is absurdly too big. Where Grandma's... Oh, yeah, I already read that. Do you think Gamora can get... so do you think Gamora can get a form like she through an Ether Gear? Yeah, I assume all Ether Gear users have like a full-body Ether Gear like that. I'm wondering if that form has a name or like the next time we'll see it. I'm guessing the next time we see it will probably be in the fight with Drac and Joe, or maybe Jin. Because the thing is that Shiki hasn't gotten stronger since the series started. Like, he hasn't gotten to like a point since his fight with the Parasite LC to really kind of like progress and push past and, you know, break into a new level. Maybe soon, maybe this will be the time. Maybe he'll get stronger on this, or whenever, like, if we see like in between arcs, if he's training with Amora, what's going to be going on there. I don't know. We'll get some more spoilers probably soon. I'm looking forward to it. I'll actually interested in the 7 Deadly Sins chapter this week, though. I'm hoping there's going to be a couple more in Dura. I'm hoping there's going to be a couple more. Shiki versus Tanjiro. Shiki would beat the shit out of him. Tanjiro isn't that powerful. Like, the Kimetsu no Yaiba's power levels are pretty low. I mean, they had, like, people, like, throwing trees is, like, a big deal. Obviously, that wasn't a moon level. That wasn't even a lower moon level, but, like, still, the gaps aren't that big. Like, I think Doma making that big ice Budo is probably the most impressive feat in the series so far. And you could probably get some good numbers out of that, but not eat at 0 levels yet. I'm expecting Elsie to get some screen time next chapter. Yeah, I'm hoping so too. I'm curious to know what her Ether Gear is. It's always hard to like wait when you to figure out what character powers are. Have you been reading Samurai 8? Yeah, I like it. It's interesting so far. I really want to see what Hachimaru's soul katana looks like. Because that's going to be, like, his blade for the series. It's like, you know, we saw Ichigo's, when we first saw Zangetsu, you know, that was his Zanpakuto for a majority of the series. You know, or, like, Asta getting his sword. But we still haven't gotten to see what Hachimaru's main blade is going to look like. It's all limp and kind of fucked up. So hopefully we'll get to see it soon. But other than that, I'm going to end the stream. Good chatting with you guys. I'm sorry about earlier. I was hoping it would, you know, actually go to plan, go to schedule. And there was always a little bit of a drought this week. We didn't have as much to talk about. Definitely, though, check out the chapters if you got like, you either go to Manga Plus, or if you have subscription to Viz, go check them out. Jujutsu Kaisen was really fun. Chainsaw Man was awesome. Tokyo Shinobi Squad. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff. I'm really hoping still that other magazines will have the subscription service similar, so I can, you know, support official releases for them too. But other than that, thanks everyone for showing up. I hope you guys all have a good Sunday and a good week. Chapters soon. Tuesday, Fairy Tail. Thursday, Black Clover returns. So look forward to that. Until next time, though, thanks everyone for showing up. Bye.